Hello, everyone, and welcome to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world show made for the fans by a fan. I am your host, as always, Richard Tiemann, and this is, of course, the award-winning Fan Show. That's right. Yes, it's good to be back. Thank you all for joining me. And no, do not adjust your computer screens or your handheld mobile devices or tablets. What you are seeing is, in fact, reality. I am wearing a Shane Falco jersey. It was a gift courtesy of Mr. Adam Lamprett, and it is one of the best gifts that I personally have ever received, and I'm so stoked about it. This is the debut of the Fan Show live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and with it comes the debut of the Shane Falco jersey, and these are hard to track down. There's a headpiece I'm wearing, but we don't need to talk about that right now. We really don't. That's, let's just save that for what it is. I have to wear it because Lane Krupinski is evil, evil man. So here I am wearing an awesome jersey and a not so awesome hat. But, that's quite all right. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of integrity and honesty, and I will own up to a bet when I lose one. Speaking of bets, I'm still waiting on a very comfortable, very soft robe because the Cleveland Browns did not defeat the San Francisco 49ers. As you will see below, there is a lot of freaking news that happened between episode 439 and now episode 440. I again thank you all for joining me, and this will be the only episode you will ever see something like this going on because I will not be making that bet again, and if I do, I'm almost certain that the outcome will, in fact, be different. But how are you, Fan Nation? It's good to see ya. I haven't seen you in so long. Some of you that may be Sioux Falls Storm fans have subscribed to my new podcast that I host called Eye of the Storm with Richard Tiemann. It's been a lot of fun. We have done 5 episodes so far. Just did episode number 5 last night with another one of the owners, and that was a lot of fun. And I think it's been great as the only team in the IFL with an exclusive podcast made by the team for the team and their fans. There are other podcasts maybe out there dedicated to a team in the IFL, but the Eye of the Storm, is the only one specifically for the Sioux Falls Storm. So if you're a Storm fan, go and like the Facebook page, go subscribe to Eye of the Storm. It's my little plug for that. But we're here to talk Fan Show stuff. And before we get to headlines, which I know you're waiting for all of them because there's so many, I need to give you a quick rundown of me coming to Sioux Falls. Me and my family coming to Sioux Falls because it was quite the adventure. There was a lot of stuff going on. Those of you that may or may not know, flew into Sioux Falls at the end of October for the official announcement. It was just an overnighter, and then flew back home. That's when I started packing my belongings while my wife, Danja, Mrs. Fan Show, decided to continue working. And then I flew back after about a week after our trip to San Francisco for Monday Night Football, which was an incredible game. Outcome could have been a little different, but what an experience, what a game. Thank you, Robert Alberino, the VP of the San Francisco 49ers, for making that happen because that was once in a lifetime experience short of being at a Super Bowl. We got to go down on the field, see the players warming up, got to see the Monday Night Football crew, including my hero, Steve Young, and that was just fantastic. The wife was in such awe. She was just like, oh my God, like there's that guy and that's happening and there's the thing and like, so it was good. So we flew back, and the same day, I had like 2 hours where I could go home, repack my bag, and then fly to Sioux Falls and stay here for 10 days. And in those 10 days, we basically got to work. That's what I'm here for, is to do work. And it was a great experience getting to know everybody, to really, find my footing here. I got to stay with Adam, and huge shout out to him for giving me a place to crash, because that was great to be with somebody while I was here and not alone. Because they said, one of the owners, the Richters, they have an Airbnb that they rent out. And they said, we can put you up there, block out those dates, put you up there for about 10 days if you want. I said, if I'm not living, if I'm not staying with somebody, I'll probably go crazy being by myself. So Adam was kind enough to allow me to to stay with him. And yes, in those 10 days, we built Legos, and we saw a movie. We saw Zombieland 2, which was awesome. But yes, this is the debut of the F.A.N show live from Sioux Falls, and the debut of the Shane Falco jerseys. So again, thank you, Adam, you're a true friend. This is one of the best birthday presents I've ever received in my life. My wife got me this amazing Lego kit. Speaking of Legos, Volkswagen Bug. I'm super stoked to get a chance to put that together. Might do that this weekend. But, okay, the trip, I know. Some of you know, some of you don't. For those of you that don't know, I almost died getting here to Sioux Falls. Don't know if you know that. When you load a 15-foot U-Haul, and then you leave the day after Thanksgiving, there's a chance you're going to run into some inclement weather. And we did. Spokane gave us a beautiful send-off. You couldn't have planned it any better. Bohemian Rhapsody was playing on the radio. It's not like it was on, my phone plugged into the auxiliary. No, the U-Haul only has radio. You can't do aux at all. And so Bohemian Rhapsody is playing. The sun's just coming up. It's a beautiful, sunny, clear sky sunrise in Spokane. And as I passed the city and waved and said my goodbyes, then we got through Idaho, and that was beautiful scenery. And then we got to Montana. Montana, we've got some issues, Montana. We had a hotel booked for Billings. I talked to Marshall Hart, one of the coaches for the Spokane Shock. He said, when I lived in Nebraska, I've made that drive. You want to stop in Billings, or else you're going to hate yourself trying to go the rest of the way. So we decided to stop in Billings. We wish we would have stopped sooner, because it started snowing, and then it snowed some more, and then a little more, and then it snowed a little more, and then it snowed a lot more. And then there's semis blazing by. We're going like white-knuckled 50, 55. They're going past us like 70. It's like, what are you doing? And they'd kick up all this draft, because it was the light flurry stuff, and wind was blowing, and it was just not fun. So we're white-knuckling it. What was supposed to be an 8-hour drive from Spokane to Billings, Montana. We were going to leave at 7 to get there at 4, all during the daylight. We left at about 9 o'clock, 8:30, 8:45, 9 o'clock. We got there at 10 p.m. I repeat, we got there at 10 p.m. Not cool. So that was day one. Then we find out that I-90 is closed beyond a certain point. Yeah, I-90 was closed for a couple miles, 100 miles. How do we get to Sioux Falls? Well, there's another interstate that goes up and east. Had to go through North Dakota, not the better of the two Dakotas. I'm Team South Dakota now. What can I say? So we go up. We're gonna go through Dickinson and Bismarck and Fargo. So I was planning this fun little photo shoot where I show up to the arena where the Bucks play and be like, "Oops, wrong team," and then come the rest of the way to Sioux Falls. We didn't even make it there. We made it 100 miles shy, and that is Dickinson, North Dakota, and that was an experience, because what lacked in blizzard-like conditions made up for in wind and black ice. And I almost took this 15-foot U-Haul with me and Sammy as my co-pilot and drove that thing right off the freeway into the median. Most terrifying experience of my life. In fact, there was a moment where I felt it slip, and I tried to slow down, and then it slipped again. The back end came out from around. I'm like, this is it. All of our personal belongings, me and the dog, we're going in this, and I don't know if we're going to come back out. And then it snapped back around, and I slowed all the way down to a stop. She calls me in a panic because she's following behind me. Hey, I'm like, yeah, we're done for the night. So we went 35 for the next 10 miles till we got to Dickinson, found a hotel, stayed there, and just counted our blessings. Because the next day was my birthday, and I almost didn't make it to see 33, literally. So it was a great stay in Dickinson. We got some Buffalo Wild Wings. We had a great time, and we were able to kind of come back down. Then we started the trek the next day. Now we get sunny skies. Now we get blue skies. The roads are clear. We go through Bismarck. We get to Fargo, and then we turn south, and now the sun's going down again. And now we've got roads that aren't so great. And it's like, do you want me to get to Sioux Falls or not? Like, come on here. So we made it. We were supposed to be in Sioux Falls at 4 for my birthday / our welcome party. And we made it at 7:30. Again, everything that was supposed to be a 16-hour, 2-day trip took all of 3 days and like 30 hours. I don't know where the math is, but we made it. Thank you to Kimberly, Brad, Mike Tatum, Adam, Corey, you guys, Emily, for coming out that first night. That was so special to us to have a welcoming party. There was more people at that first birthday and welcoming party than there have been at like my last 3 birthdays combined. So I don't know how we did Spokane so dirty, but apparently we just did. We had people help us move because we had temporary housing that we had to stay in. And so now we are in where we're going to live. And Corey and my buddy Sean, they helped us move out of the garage that we had stored our stuff because we had to return the U-Haul, but we were going to wait a couple days to see if maybe our application got approved, and then we just pay the extra day or two for the U-Haul. Well, there was a snag with our application, so we're like, crap, don't know how long this is going to take. Unloaded the U-Haul, gave it back, returned it, and then the next day we got approved, and now I got to go rent a U-Haul again, reload it, and then bring it over to the new place. So there's still boxes in here. Like, this is not the new F.A.N show setup. This is makeshift. I missed you guys. I wanted to come and do a new show. I have a great special guest. And yes, Stassi did show up also. He's real. He's a real boy. So I was excited about that. Again, people of Sioux Falls, Storm Nation, you guys have been so fantastic to us. My wife loves it here already. If it wasn't for the weather, it'd be damn near perfect first week for us. But she's working now already. She's a busybody, and we've just had a great time so far. I've gotten to work. Work's getting busier and busier as we continue the countdown to the IFL season, which brings us to the headlines. Headlines are still brought to you by Dynamite Enterprises because they want to help customize your world, and you can hit up Ethan if you're in the Spokane area, or if you live in Sioux Falls, you can do that as well. Check for the shipping charges, but they're awesome. They will make you anything and everything with your logo or artwork on it, including backdrops. They will do mic flags. They will do tablecloths, t-shirts, hats, socks, shoes, trophies, plaques, anything you can think of, they will do it. So hit up Ethan at dynamiteenterprises.com, or visit the website, dynamiteenterprises.com, and he's going to help you customize your world. So as you see, and as you have been seeing in the ticker below, there is a heck of a lot of news to get caught up on. So let us take it from the top, shall we? And here we go. And just when they thought it was safe to go back in the water, and a partridge in a pear tree. Those are I'm sorry. Do you know how many times I had to work on that just to pull that thing off? Like once. That was improv, but I felt like it was there's been a lot that's happened. The Niners are 11-2. That's right, and they are back on top of the NFC at least for another week. I don't know, but the Cowboys. Do we want to talk about this? Because I've gotten a lot of flack for it, and I know that there are some people that share the opinion. And my opinion about the playoff system, which I believe is broken, is this. Look, we have 32 NFL teams. We have 4 divisions for each conference, so 8 divisions total, 2 conferences. The best 6 from each conference go into the playoffs The top 2 get a bye. The bottom 2 must go on the road as wild card teams to play the next lowest teams, and then from there we filter it out and we get a Super Bowl. The reason that I believe the system is broken, and hear me out on this, is for a few reasons. It's partly because, and yes, to address Nick, the hat is because I lost a bet. Okay, I'm owning up to a bet because I'm a man of my word. And yes, tie night, the Ravens, I believe right now are the best team in football. Okay, the best team in the NFL. They've won 9 straight. They're really good. They beat my Niners. The 2 losses that the Niners have are by 3 points each. So just back off. All right. Anyway, Cowboys should basically fire Jason Garrett. So look, here's my thoughts about the system. Let's get back on track here. When there was only 3 divisions and 5 teams per division, you have a 16-game schedule. That makes up for about half of your schedule, right? Over half of it is against divisional opponents. Divisions make sense at that point. But when you have 4 teams per division, even just that 1 team difference, now the amount of divisional games you have is less than half your schedule. They're much less significant. Plus, you're only playing a team twice. What if you break even? Well, then you have to go down the list of tiebreaker scenarios. Points allowed, points for, points against, strength of schedule, all that mess. So I think that you should only have the divisions for the purposes of schedule. You can keep the rivalries and everything, but the best record should get into the postseason. And people are going to argue, well, there was that, 7-9 or 9-7 Seahawks team that upset the Saints at home and had the Beastquake. Yeah, but that wasn't the Super Bowl. Like, we're talking about teams that you play 16 games. The goal is to win a majority of those 16 games. And some that do are not being rewarded with what you're supposed to be rewarded with, and that's a postseason spot. So I get it. We love the Cinderella story. We love the upsets. But would Brett Favre's Packers have gone on to beat the then undefeated Patriots instead of Eli Manning's 8-8 Giants? I don't know. All I know is that the Packers deserved to be there because they had won a majority of their games in a 16-game season, and that's why they were where they were. The Giants got hot at the right time, which is great. We talk about teams doing that all the time, but I don't think 500 or having a record that is less than another team just because you won your division denotes having that spot in the postseason. If you want this to be about winning your division, here's a simple solution. You play each one of your divisional opponents 3 times. And I know that we hate that, but that's going to bring back playing a majority of your division or playing a majority of your games against your division. Seems like it's a bit more significant that you win your division if you're playing everyone in your division 3 times. And then we have the best of 3, obviously, instead of the best of 2, which you could split. Makes the tiebreaker scenario a lot easier. But some people think that the solution is to have the higher win record host the playoff game instead of the division winner. So you would have the Vikings host instead of Dallas, if that's how it panned out right now, I think, or maybe Seattle. But obviously Dallas would get the spot. But what if there's another 10-win team that doesn't get the wild card, that doesn't win their division, and now they're watching the 9-7, if they win out, Cowboys host or even get a playoff berth? It just doesn't seem fair. So if you want to make the argument for the divisions, I say play each team 3 times. And it sucks. I know it does. But for those arguing that it's all about winning your division and the scheduling and whatnot, fine. 3 games apiece. That's a simple solution. Let's see some comments here about this. Adam says, division championship should get you a playoff spot. Other than that, it's fair game. Win-loss record should determine the home game. That's a popular opinion. I like that opinion. I really do. Because some divisions are weak, man. Like, can we be honest about that? Nick says, I respect that. That's why I don't make those bets. This is very true. I only make a few, and I feel like I got conned into this one. So, Nick, I appreciate that. Tony says, Adam, Jerry is being stubborn and making it personal. Yeah, I hear that. Adam says, hot take number 2, or hot take, 2 divisions for each conference, East and West. Look, however you want to structure the NFL, the truth the only way to truly reward the teams with the best records would be if you just got rid of divisions and conferences altogether and the top 12 teams go to the playoffs. I mean, look how great the postseason was last year for the IFL without having any kind of conferences or divisions. It was fantastic. Billy Back, who is my guest tonight, new coach of the Shock, you'll actually hear him mention how he's been so excited to get back in the IFL because he felt that his Nighthawks got robbed of a playoff spot. And honestly, they kind of did. An 8-8 Nebraska Danger team got in to be one and done, while his they only lost 3 times. So what was it, like 12-3? A Wichita Falls Nighthawks team had to sit at home and watch this team try to make an upset miraculously. I don't like it. I think that if you're going to have 16 games, and there's been talk about expanding that season, obviously the goal is to win a majority of your games. So if that's the goal, you need to reward the teams that accomplish that feat. Plain and simple, that's all I'm saying. The goal is to win as many of your games as you can. And if you do that, you should get a playoff spot. That's what I'm saying. Barry says, go KC. Antonio says, quiet. Antonio also says, 3 times, then you get complaints about home field advantage versus the current home. Look, like I said, there's always going to be things that don't work out. You'd probably have to have it be in a rotation, where if you have 4 teams in a division and you play each team 3 times, this year you play at, the NFC West, for example, you play at Seattle twice, once at home, you play the Rams twice at home, 1 away, and then the Cardinals you would play twice away and once at home, or flipped. And then you would flip that the next year, right? Then you would host Seattle twice, you play them once away, and then you play LA, the Rams, twice away and once at home, or however you want to do it, because that's essentially what they do with the schedule now. They rotate through the different divisions. You either play all of one division one year and then all the next, and then you play who finished at your same finish from the previous season to make up the remaining spots in your schedule from the other divisions. So there's a bunch of ways that you can do it that are not unheard of. Adam says, those were great playoffs, especially the United Bowl. I know exactly what he's talking about. Yes, Devin, I lost a bet, but not to my wife, to Lane Krupinski. I hope he's watching somewhere, or I hope he watches at some point in time. I promised I would do this. I'm a man of my word. Making up for it with the Shane Falco jersey. For those of you watching on the live stream on Facebook.com. Antonio says, the Nighthawks got screwed that year. He could have won it all. I don't doubt it. That's why I'm saying the NFL system is broken, because, look, I'm not saying that Nebraska couldn't have run the gauntlet and won it, and then it's like, oh my God, the most unlikely of finishes for the most unlikely of teams. But do they even deserve to be given that chance in the first place? That's what I'm saying. You have a 7-9 Seahawks team that hosts the Saints and gets the upset, but then they don't go all the way. So you basically did that for one game, for one moment from that one game. And that's what upsets me, is because if you win a majority of your games, which is the goal every season, if you win a majority of your games, be it 9-7, 10-6, whatever, you should be in the conversation to go to the postseason. I don't think winning your division should be all that you concern yourself with, because the whole NFC West, I think, should go instead of the NFC East. Yes, even the Cardinals, because I would pick the Cardinals over any NFC East team right now, because the Cardinals have had to play the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks twice this season. So yeah, they're obviously up against some of the best competition in the NFL. Let's see. Adam says, 3rd game in London. Please no. Please, 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 please no. Adam says, Nighthawks ended the 7-year home winning streak of the Storm. They were a dangerous team. They were. Oh my God, Lane is finally on. Lane, are you seeing the hat that I'm wearing, that I am owning up to your bet that I lost? I said the first show I did from Sioux Falls, I would wear the silly hat. And now here I am. And hi, honey. She's wearing my 49ers jacket.
It's a windbreaker. Why are you wearing my fucking hat?
Because I lost a bet with Lane at the game that we went to, and now I'm paying up that bet.
That's my new hat.
I know. I'm stretching it out and keeping it warm for you. She says hi.
Hi, everybody.
Lane says, love the hat. I hate you. So anyway, Antonio, and no one complained about the refs. Yes, that's right. Other IFL news, in case you missed it, there's a Frisco team which will make 13 for 2020. Not the best of numbers as far as balancing out the conferences or divisions or however they're going to do that. The schedule is out and very exciting, but Frisco will be called the Frisco Fighters, like fighter jets, not like Mike Tyson, but actual fighter jets. So that's going to be a lot of fun to see what the Texas team does. And those same owners now own the Columbus Destroyers, at least the Columbus team. I don't know if they own the rights to the Destroyers. I have to look into that. So Columbus will be joining the Indoor Football League in 2021, which will give us 14 or more. But this is what the IFL wanted. As you may recall, my interview with Commissioner Todd Tryon, he said the goal is to grow organically and not forced. I think they're doing a beautiful job of that. It took a little while for the schedule to get out. Some people were not happy, but I think now that it's out, people can start visualizing the season. It all works out for the best. So we get Frisco, we get Oakland, we get Spokane. And those are going to be three great teams. I think Spokane probably going to be the best one. But Oakland really has made some moves so far. I'm curious to see what kind of moves Frisco will make since they're so far behind the rest of the teams as far as signing players, making announcements, and things like that. So the IFL now has 13 teams. They will have a 14th tentatively right now for the 2021 season, as well as a new look. There's been a couple of posts about the new logo, new look, new feel, because the owners for Columbus also and Frisco have bought the rights to certain things with the IFL. They have not purchased the IFL. They have purchased certain rights, paid a lot of money for these rights so that they can try to generate some revenue for the league with league sponsors with these rights. Part of those rights are, of course, the broadcast, television, and then certain rights to different branding and things like that. So it's not a league takeover, I assure you. It was explained to me exactly as this, that they paid a lot of money to have these exclusive rights, and with that, they're going to go and try and make their money back, and then some, by getting league sponsorships, which is what a lot of people have said the IFL has been missing and really needs. Let's see. Lane says, I'm willing to run it back for week 17. Absolutely not. No. Lane said, I just got off work, so I'm loving it. And Adam says, hey, now, let's not get crazy about Arizona. Someone might take that wrong. That's very true. Devin says, for as much as I love that Hawks made the playoffs with a losing record, that's when the NFL should have thought about tossing out division champs at home. Exactly. One more time for the people in the back. 16-game regular season. Talks of it expanding by a game or two. If that's the case, then the goal, as always, win as many games as you can. If you win more than you lose, you should be rewarded with a playoff spot. Granted, if there's still 6 spots, you're one of the teams that won enough games to get you one of those spots, pending any tie-breaking scenarios, strength of schedule, points allowed, points against. But if you finish 7-9 and you win your weak-ass division with that, no, sir, you should have to watch from home. All I'm saying, okay? So I'm glad we got that out of the way. Mike Tatum says, I think the Destroyer name will die with the AFL. You know, I've thought a lot about that too. Obviously, it's a year off, new beginnings, new opportunity to create something, but the Destroyer name holds a lot with it. People were very excited about them coming back. So I could see the name staying, but I also could see this as an opportunity for them to create a new. So Mike will stay tuned on that one. Lane says Oakland got some boys out there, and yeah, that's very true. I see that Rob Storm has joined us. The NAL schedule has been released. It starts with a classic, the Jacksonville Sharks. Their reigning champion will host the West Virginia Rough Riders, the AAL reigning champions. They made the jump to that league, and it should prove for some stingent competition, some serious competitors. I like it. Brian Hicks, he's an Oakland Panther. Welcome, Brian. Good to see you, man. So, yes. Again, the hat, I lost a bet. I'm not proud of that. But, hey, you do what you got to do. If you want to have a little friendly wager, then that's perfectly fine. And that's exactly what happened. So, with that, I think we about covered everything, at least as much as I want to worry myself with. The NFL, Thursday Night Football tonight, we'll see the Ravens hosting the New York Jets. Baltimore and Lamar Jackson are on fire. Dave Bautista and the NWO were announced for the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2020, way early, so you can't say that AEW isn't having a little bit of an effect on them. As far as music goes, there's a lot of music stuff. It's time for Christmas music. Christmas time. Oh, the weather outside is weather. So if you like Christmas music, I hope that you're enjoying it right now. Hopefully it wasn't played too early for you. Christmas is coming up. Sioux Falls Storm have a holiday party next week. You can hear all about that on Eye of the Storm. And let's see, is there anything else? Undisputed Belts. Yes, shout out to them. They are making some amazing belts. They made George Kittle's tight end of the week belt that will be given to each tight end of the week, signed by them and then auctioned off. Proceeds go to an amazing charity at the end of the season during the Super Bowl. And it is the end of fantasy football season. I have made the playoffs in 2 of my 4 leagues, so that's a lot of fun. If you're in the Fan Nation Fantasy Football League, then a belt may be in your future. Congratulations to Adam and to Matt Spurk for advancing to the championship. You guys did great all season. One of them gets to go home with a undisputed belt, and that will be the 4th one that we've given away with this. If you guys would like to be a part of that league, make sure that you hit me up next year. But if you're in a league that needs some sort of reward for winning more games than you lost, then you should go to undisputedbelts.com and you should get one of those. One more time through the comments here. Looks like we got a few more. Brian Hicks says, yo! Hey, Brady Nelson. Hey, Matt. Matt says, meh. Whatever. Adam says, no pants nation, looking to finally win it all in the Fan Show Fantasy Football League. Antonio says, I might become a Storm fan. And Barry says, go Kittle. Yes, go Kittle. He's an amazing dude, man. Holy crap. That game was something. Also, I do get tickets to every Storm game. I want to personally welcome any and all of you that travel for away games. Please come to a Sioux Falls Storm game. You might be lucky enough to get a couple of my tickets, which are great seats. I might say so myself, but working hard. I love what I do. I love where I'm at. The owners have been fantastic. I really do have the best bosses in the world, so thank you so much to the Headleys, the Richters, and the Garys. You guys have been so fantastic. Needs not to go into detail, but let me just tell you, if you've ever taken my word for anything, take my word on this. These guys really do value their fans, their team, and their employees, and I cannot thank them enough for this opportunity. So with that, here's an opportunity to hear from Coach Billy Back, the new head coach of the Spokane Shock. So I ask you enjoy, and we will wrap up a brand new episode, the first one of the Fan Show, live from Sioux Falls. Here's Coach Billy Back. Enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me now from my now former home of Spokane, Washington, he is the new head coach of the Spokane Shock, head coach Billy Back. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I think first and foremost, I got to ask how you're enjoying my city, even though it's not my city anymore, but it was for 33 years. So how you liking it? What do you like? What do you not like?
Well, we love the area we live in. The people I've met so far has been genuinely nice. And, we're trying to get out and see the city, but it's kind of hard when you got 2 wild kids and a 11-year-old. And we went to the furniture store the other day on North Division Street, and they probably couldn't wait till we left. I had kids jumping from bed to bed. We knocked over 2 lamps. It happens. They want our business. They're gonna stomach that while we're there. So,
wow.
But so far it's been good. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. The first day we got here, it was sunny. And it snowed 2 nights ago. Woke up in the morning with about 3 or 4 inches of snow. It's already melted by now.
Yep.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, the snowy season is one of those interesting ones because it can be beautiful. If you get about 3 to 4 inches overnight, the next day, if it's sunny, it can be gorgeous. Or even if it's not sunny, even if it's cloudy. But if it's sunny enough, it's going to start to melt away. And then if it freezes before it does, now that's when you get into the nasty stuff. So, best of luck to you there. I know you guys have a house up on the hill. The view looked gorgeous. In fact, you can almost see my parents' house from your guys' backyard.
They barbecue. Have us call us so we can come over and get it.
Oh yeah, my dad does a pretty good barbecue. In fact, he'll probably, if you want to get out deer hunting next season, he'll know of a few places to go. Because I don't know how much time you get during the fall, but the seasons are good up there. As far as if any outdoors stuff you want to try, they've got something for every season.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to fly fish. Me and Shaq talked about Coach Shaq and I talked about fly fishing. I'm gonna try to test my hand at that. You know, my fishing back home was always throw a lure in the water and drink beer and never check the lure. So,
yeah, fly fishing,
outdoorsy.
that's an art, and it does require some patience. But hey, you're a father and a coach, so I'm sure you've got a little bit to spare.
Zero patience.
Well, before I forget, happy belated birthday to your youngest, Lennox. I know that he had his birthday shortly after the move, so hope the rest of the family's been adjusting well.
Yep, they are. They are. It's you know, it was a battle getting our daughter in the right school. She's in a good school now. You know, we've yet to find babysitters for the youngsters yet, but you know, the process is moving. You know, the two boys don't understand anything about moving. They just, hey, we're at home, cool. Let's see if they'll jump on this couch. You know, but my daughter, you know, and my wife are mourning still from leaving, so I try to appease them every chance I get.
Hey, there you go. You know, happy wife, happy family, happy life.
Right.
So let's talk business then. Of course, you were one of the big signings and acquisitions in the offseason. And, you know, I've mentioned before to other coaches that this season, the 2020 season coming up, is shaping up to be one of the most competitive that we've ever seen in indoor football. And you were part of that reason. And I said, but I don't know if the landscape pans out the way it does if Dixie doesn't take that head coaching job in Tucson, because that freed up, obviously, a need there. And then Spokane pops up again, and then we have a few other expansion teams. But how did the conversation go to get you from Greensboro, North Carolina, to Spokane, Washington?
Well, I mean, it was an odd situation. I mean, you know, a long time ago, I told my wife if the Spokane Shock job ever opens up, that you know, and it being the Spokane Shock, not the Empire, not, you know, of course that is a Shaq didn't want it, you know, or if he was, or still retired. But, you know, it came on a Tuesday. I got a message on Twitter from the Spokane Shock, and I saw that they had activated their accounts and updated their logos and stuff. And so I was like, oh, the Shock's coming back. Great. And there's a message asking for me to call a number. And then got the same message from Sam Adams, asked me to call as well. And, you know, I did, you know, just to, you know, see what was going on. And we chatted for a few. But, you know, initially there wasn't any interest because, you know, we were in North Carolina, you know, at the Cobras. And, you know, my family was established there. My daughter is in a great school, a bunch of great friends. And my wife had a great job with great friends, and they loved it. And, you know, but truth be told, you know, it was a situation in Greensboro where it was looking glim. You know, it was on a bubble of if they were going to play the season, and yeah, it just made me think, well, shoot, I'm not trying to be somewhere and not have a job. You know, kind of how happened to Robert, you know, or it's not Robert, but Coach Fuller year before in Maine, and you know, I talked to ownership with the Cobras, and you know, I actually came out here and looked at Spokane. You know, we knew about the city, knew about the fans, you know, about the ninth man, everything about the Shock that they had back in the glory days. And, you know, it came to a point where it's like, what's our best move for our family? And I got great advice from, you know, people I admire and, you know, and look up to. You know, Rob Storm was one of them. You know, talking with Rob, and, you know, we were truthful with each other, and, you know, it was a good move for the family. You know, for furthering my career, you know, but at the same time, it wasn't the move we wanted, you know, right away at the time. But as things went on, time went on, where the IFL was picked up, and, you know, talking with friends here in Spokane, and, you know, Coach Shackelford was a huge advocate of me coming here, spoke nothing but great things about the area, and you know, the ownership, and talking to Todd Tryon was another one too. So those are things that kind of got us here, you know, and meeting with Sam, and then the stuff Sam has done for us, you know, for our family, period.
Yeah.
It's been above and beyond. He's been awesome. And so just all added up together and just like, well, let's do it. Let's take a chance. We've never lived in the Pacific Northwest or the inland Northwest, as people call it now. I'm finding out, and it's a chance to sign a 3-year contract and, see a different part of the world, but be back in the IFL competing. The league that I love. The IFL to me is the best league to be in because of the rules, the gameplay, the chess match. You have to coach. You can't just high-low every play and run the same plays over and over. And it's a tougher game all around for players. You don't have to, mold and make a fullback or mold and make a Mac backer. You recruit a running back. You got your quarterback. Your offensive line. They need to be more athletic, and so it's just a better chess match. It's a better game for the fans, because it can go fast. You can run a fast-paced system, and all aspects are played. And so to be back in the IFL, do those things, to compete against Coach Guy, Coach Wooten, Coach Riggs, all the coaches in this league. It's a chess match. It's something you want to be as a competitor. You want to play against the best. And as we can see, the AFL tumbling and falling. The IFL is a 13, 14-year-long league, withstanding and hasn't had many hiccups. They weathered the storm in 2013, 14, 15, 16. Now they're building up to where they need to be, and then more teams will be added next year. You saw the Columbus, Ohio press conference today with Buckeye legend Bobby Olive as the head coach. Just big things are happening. So, with Dallas getting Clint Dozell, hell, that's going to be fun. So it's an exciting time to be in the IFL.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. In fact, on the other podcast I host now, Eye of the Storm, I talked with Rich Rosti, and I said, I don't think it's too bold to say that whoever emerges as champion of the 2020 season is going to be one of the best assembled teams and champions that we've ever seen in the IFL, because, there's so much talent to go around now. And obviously we got a preview, we got a taste of what this IFL could look like your last year with the Wichita Falls Nighthawks. Of course, Amir Ishmael was not a head coach at that time, but then, he goes into the NAL and you were there and you guys have this amazing rivalry. And now you get to bring that to the IFL, and then you still have Coach Guy, Coach Riggs, reigning Coach of the Year, Coach Corey Roberson up in Green Bay. And I just think the landscape and competition is exactly where it needs to be for this to silence the doubters as far as just what the IFL is all about. And that's about a great product and a competitive field of play.
Yeah, 100%.
So what was first order of business once you got to Spokane? Obviously, you have your quarterback who's been with you for the long haul, Charles McCullum. But, you got to convince some guys that, they're going to go from coast to coast, from Greensboro or wherever they hail from, mainly on the east side, now over to Spokane. Did you get a lot of inquiries? Because there were guys I talked to that they said, if Spokane comes up again, I'd like to go there just to play in Spokane. So clearly you have the Shock name back, you as a head coach, a great name in indoor football world and arena world, but now, you have the location. It's almost a destination team. So what was that whole process like, assembling your team?
Well, during the season, we're looking at players in the NAL. Like, man, he would be a hell of an IFL player.
Yeah.
He can also cover, he can tackle. A lot of the AFL players, defensive backs, the knock on them is they're not going to come up and hit. They're cover guys. IFL, you have to have guys who are going to come down, fill the alleyway, be able to cover at the same time. And so it's a different caliber athlete. Not knocking the AFL players and saying they can't tackle, but I'm saying they can't hit. There's a difference. And so, they all can tackle, and don't get me wrong, but you want to get a different style defensive back. Looking more for a strong safety, free safety than three corners on the field. And so, doing this, we found certain guys at each team we played against that, if we go the I, and it always in the back of my mind, the IFL has been the league you want to be in, because it's the toughest league to win. It really is, because it is a chess match. It is a full, complete game chess match. And you come out in the second half with a total different game plan in the first half. And so, it's tougher to win. You got, competitive teams. from top to bottom. But first and foremost, I called Chuck, I called Mike Green, Jordan Jolly, Walter Thomas, Bill Zaval. I called him to get some information on the city and talk to the main guys on our team and said, hey, if this comes to fruition, you guys up to go, and they said, yeah, let's do it. Back in the IFL, Chuck's about to break some records. And he's a two-time reigning MVP before he left, and it's just a more complete game for him. Mike Green, same thing, to put a puzzle back on the field for defense the way you can in the IFL. And that was exciting for him. And so, then we went off and reached out and dug in to find some O linemen, find some D linemen. Our defensive line is with us. We've added some nice pieces that we played against that we really liked. Nick Woodman and Greg Hall Jr. Those guys played well against us, and it always, gives a good taste in your mouth when you see a guy play personally, and he's beating a guy that can play pretty good offensive line wise. You're like, hey, he's kicking my offensive lineman's butt. Let's get him. And then as you go, you just, you it's word of mouth. You get guys calling you from the team. The guy you just signed, he wants to play for you in the same city, and it's just an exciting time because of the fan base. That's the same reason that got me here. It's the same reason players are getting here, because of what the fans offer. The city itself, when it's sunny and 70 out. Pasquale Vaccio called me and was excited. He FaceTimed me. He was so excited to come out here, and so he loves the city. He loves being out here. And he's the type of guy that gets excited and talks and gets other guys excited and talk. And it's just I got so many emails and calls about guys wanting to play for the Shock, and there are a bunch of veterans, AFL guys that want to come back out here. And unfortunately, we have a 7-man vet rule, which I still think is ridiculous that they even have. I guess it was the old Sioux Falls rule. All the other owners were scared that Sioux Falls could recruit better than they could recruit. Go get a better coach and recruit better than them. It's ridiculous. It's even still a rule. But you got 7 people, so you have to work around that. 4 years of experience of any professional football, 4 games or more, is considered a vet. And so you got to find those guys. You want to get your core vet guys that you take with you, and you understand that trust and run your system. So finding those guys and then adding the rookies in, or the second-year guys, and so I think the first and foremost was getting my core guys in to do it, because we felt in 2017, we had a bad taste in our mouth leaving the IFL because we didn't get any playoffs. We beat Sioux Falls and Arizona. And we have a better record than Nebraska. They get in at 500. And we're out of the playoffs with 3 losses. And so it's ridiculous. And so we've been anxious to get back into the IFL to make the dance and see how far we can go. And that's not going to be a given. We got to work for it and earn it. But the excitement, the drive is there for sure for these guys.
Well, when I heard the rumor that you were probably going to be the head coach for Spokane, I said, this is going to make Spokane an immediate, United Bowl contender. And I stand by that statement. I think that you guys, obviously, given the opportunity and given the field of competition, even with how great it can be, are still going to be a force to be reckoned with and one of the most competitive teams out there. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it. I've seen it firsthand. So I'm certainly happy to have you back. I couldn't be more excited about the upcoming season. I'm sure that we'll talk more as the season, approaches, and then, of course, throughout. And you and I are even going to see each other a couple times this season. So I look forward to that as well.
Yeah, it's a shame you had to go to Sioux Falls. It's a shame. Now you're part of the enemy. It's too bad we could just keep it here. I wish that process would have happened a little sooner. But I'm happy for you. You got that shot in Spokane. It's a great organization. And, let's be honest, Sioux Falls has been the mecca of indoor football for as long as we can think.
Yep.
And so, you're at the right place, right time, but I cannot wait to beat you and get an interview with you after the game.
Oh, fair enough, Coach.
You're on the list. You're on the list.
I'm on the list.
And there is a list, by the way.
Oh, I bet there's a list, and I'm on it now. I just made the list. Great.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if you need any recommendations or you need anything, you just let me know. I'm more than happy to help somebody get acclimated to a new city, just like I'm experiencing for the first time here in Sioux Falls. So any help you need, just let me know, a recommendation or be put in touch with somebody. I'm always available. But, hey, you're going to love it there. The fans are going to love you there, and I think it's all sunshine and rainbows for Coach Billy back in Spokane.
Well, I hope so, because right now it's cloudy, a little bit of snow drizzle. Keep that sunshine and rainbow.
You'll get all of them, don't you worry.
Yeah.
All right, well, he is head coach of the Spokane Shock. Billy Back, thank you so much, sir, for your time. You have a great rest of your night.
I appreciate it, Richard. You too.
Thank you. And one more big thank you to head coach of the Spokane Shock, Billy Back, for taking the time to be on the show. And you guys have been awesome. It feels so great to be back. And I know I'm in a new location and a different wardrobe, apparently. That's right. I just changed. I got to go out to this new to Sioux Falls event that we have. So I am dressed to impress, complete with kitties in Santa hats tie. But I want to thank you guys once again for listening, for tuning in. It's been too long. Hopefully it's never that long again until we meet again. And I'm looking at doing regular episodes every Tuesday and Thursday, still at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. I don't have to change anything about the time. I love it. I actually get an extra 2 hours to prep for an all-new episode of The F.A.N Show each Tuesday and Thursday. Wednesday, if you're a Storm fan, go and check out Eye of the Storm with Richard Tiemann. It's a lot of fun. We're very excited about the opportunity to be an exclusive podcast for one of the indoor football teams. So remember, it's not official unless it's F.A.N Show official, and we are officially out of here. I love you guys so much. Thank you again. And remember, it's all fun and games until you butt fumble. Good night, folks.
Do you remember the time that Mark Sanchez ran into his player's butt? That was funny sports.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I love the F.A.N Show.